Oh, hi. Welcome to That So Nova. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, I'm glad to have you back. Today we are going to be doing a very fun project. We're going to be doing the Simplicity home sewing projects, and particular in particular, I'm not going to edit that out because if it's not weird, it's not Shinova and it's not Nova. So we're going to be doing these oven mitts. I have to make a lot of oven mitts. If you watch my Captain logs, if you have any of my lives, you know I have this thing. He's this magical being. And if I say his name more than 3 times in a row, he probably will appear in this video. The Loki, the Lokester. He likes to eat oven mitts. I don't know why. I If I knew the reason why, I wouldn't be making this video. So don't ask. I can't tell you. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be making these video. We're making this video. We're going to be making these cute ones, and I love making these just because I like having different seasonal ones. Like I like having Valentine's, St. Patrick Day, NFL football season. But I also like making these because they make fantastic gift giving. So like you can make like a Halloween one with your like special Halloween cookies and put all the dry ingredients for the cookies inside of a mason jar and then put the recipe on a little card and then make like oven mitts. I think it's super cute. Or like if you're giving gifts, like you're doing a gift for like going over someone's house for Thanksgiving, trailblazing, like these are really good gifts. So when I stumbled upon this when I was in Michael's and I seen that they have this, they have like cool ones. Like they have this particular Simplicity project has like the things for like your mixer covers and all that. So I was like, cool, let me make this one. They also have a circular one when I want to make. I can't show you the project pattern piece, but I want to address some stuff real quick. First, we're going to be using pattern piece 15 from Simplicity Project Pattern Simplicity yes. Simplicity Simplicity Sewing Home Projects. And that's going to be pattern CS9303. Okay? We're going to be using pattern piece 15. That's it. Iron that bad boy out and you can draw it on a piece of like plastic or cardstock, whatever your heart contains. Pay attention to the grain line on there, and the grain line will show you how to cut. Don't cut it on the bias. Please don't cut it on the bias. You're going to need to cut 2 of fabric. So I cut 1 of like a pretty exterior and then something basic. I don't know why I do this. You can do 2 a pretty side. There's no wrong way of doing this, but yeah. And you're going to need 3 of batting. I did 3 of batting on this one and 2 on this one, and I kind of like the way the 2 is, but I also have thicker batting than normal. Okay, so you can quilt this. We're gonna quilt the first side, the exterior with the batting. Make sure you wash your fabrics or at least steam them. If you don't do this, they will shrink when they're wet. So what I like to do is I like to put my batting a little bit larger, and then I do whatever kind of quilt thing I want to do, and then I cut it out. When I try to match them piece by piece, it always comes out lumpy and bumpy, and it's just not cute. I have a hard time cutting pieces exactly the same size. Even if I trace it, draw it, it just never comes out the same. So what I like to do is I like to machine baste it and then cut it out. It's easier for me to do it this way. You could do it however. If you're good at making multiple pieces be exactly the same, I'm jealous of you. But I do the same thing when we do a bag and they're asking you to cut out foam. I like to put the exterior piece on foam and then baste it around and then trim it. But since we have this here, I'm going to do my famous X and call it a day. You could do nice, regular quilting where you can do like 1/2-inch square blocks or however you like it. There's no wrong or right way. It's just whatever you feel. You could do free motion quilting. I mean, whatever makes you happy. And make sure when you are doing anything to put the needle down. And I'm just going around here and just basting this. So when I cut it, it could be the exact size. So yeah, let's see. And you want to use like a batting or stabilizers that are kind of heat resistant, because you're going to be using these to get you know, for hot objects, and you just don't want to be like, oh yeah, well that sucks, it burned my hand. I'm like, you know, just going to trim this really close, but not into the stitches, of course. And with this particular shape, 3 corners are round and 1 corner to the left-hand side, upper left-hand side, is straight, like a square. I had extra like Wrap and Zap and I thought, hey, this might work, because when you stick it in the microwave or when you hold something hot or super cold, you don't feel it because of the material. All right, so then we're going to take our lining and we're going to just put this on. So you want the straight side to match up with the straight side, and then we're going to just baste this all the way around. And you can use some pins, and if it's a little bit bigger, it's okay, because we could trim it up. And we're going to do 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Everything's going to be hidden behind some binding. For all my free motion quilters out there, this is where you are going to shine, because you can do some beautiful free motion quilting. All right, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around and just trim off any extra lining. And remember, these are oven mitts, so there's no, it has to be 8 inches. It's an oven mitt. You're pulling in it with pots and pans. The fact that it looks cuter than what you can get at a department store, you're at a win. Okay. All right. So from here, we have this area where we're going to bind, and then there's a loop. So you're going to get some bias tape. I make mine, and we're going to start, I'm going to always start from the back, because I want the pretty, like, I want this pretty like soft edge to be on this side. So I always start from the back, and I try to start with a clean edge. All right, let me get my clips. And you want to start where the straight edge is, right at the very top. And I'm just going to clip. You could pin, especially if you have like those magic pins that you could sew over. I never have super good luck with those. Those bend with me still. Oh, it's like, you're too rough, Nova. And just, you know, pinch and mold the bias binding around the curve. It's not a lot of bias tape. Okay, for my friends who like elastic, this is not the job for this. Because hot, just think of hot. Twill tape, I can see it. Waterproof canvas, no. No, don't think of it. Pre-made bias tape, yes. As long as it's not have plastic in it, you're pretty much good. And because this doesn't need a lot, you could probably make some pretty cool bias binding that can match your, match your colors. You can make like your favorite football team, and then have the bias tape the part of the colors. Like, you could have a lot of fun with this. If Tulip Pink's your favorite fabric designer, have some really cute I'm just wrapping it around the corners. And if I see a crinkle or a little wrinkle, I'm like maneuvering it so that way all right. And then I'm going to stop I'm going to get a pen, and I'm going to stop sewing about 3/8 of an inch away. So I'm just going to put a pin here, because this part encloses this part, and we need about 4 inches to make the loop. So I'm just going to roughly cut a 4-inch tail. Okay. So we're going to start right here, and we're going to start at 3/8 of an inch and going all the way around. If you need a stiletto or something to help you navigate to get the corners so you don't use your fingers, this is the time to get it. Back stitch at the beginning and at the end. And if you have to maneuver things around, just make sure your needle down. And if you have to use shorter stitch lengths, that's fine too. Shorter stitch lengths around, especially the corner, or putting on bias tape or zipper tape, is super beneficial. Like, it just helps you out tremendously. Make sure you don't get your tail stuck underneath your fabric. It's very easy to do that. And right when you get to that pin, back stitch. Don't go any further. Okay, we're going to just trim those excess threads off. All right. So we're going to pull our bias binding to the front and just start kind of clipping it into place. We're just covering over that row of stitching that we just made. And we're going to you can put this piece, you could have this part going straight up and this part covers it. Either way, however you wish. Just covering. Like I said in the beginning, I've always been told that I do bias binding extremely weird. It's how my brain processes it. I don't know. I just think like that pretty soft ridge that you spent all that time creating, that should be the part that shows, and like that side should be the part that wraps around. And I'm just kind of just maneuvering the fabric into place. Especially around the curves, I'm just trying to kind of bend and sculpt the excess fabric into place. That's why it's really important when you were in the first step to really stretch and like kind of pull your bias binding nice and taut, because you don't want to have excess binding. And now for this part, we need to create our loop. So inside here, we're just going to remove some of the bulk inside this bias binding, and then we're going to fold it onto itself. With that, we're going to kind of iron to make a permanent crease, and it's about a 1/2 inch in. We're going to fold that in on itself again like it was originally and press that again. Then press it one more time. You really want to make sure those edges stay inside that bias tape. Okay, and I'm just going to put a clip right there to hold it, and I'm going to move this back over there to the side. And I'm just going to clip the rest of this loop real quick into place. All right, so we're going to start sewing. We're going to start sewing at 3/8 of an inch from the top of this all the way around and back stitch. Okay. Back stitch in the beginning and the end. And if your machine kind of sucks up bias binding, I always keep a piece of swatch fabric by me in case my fabric is like, oh no, this is too thin, I'm going to suck it in my feed dogs. You're not alone. My machine does that all the time, and if that's the case, if I see that doing it, then I start off with a piece of fabric on this side, and then it usually does the trick. Just move that a little out of the way. And take your time and breathe. And just like when you're piecing it, if you have to do your top stitch at a smaller length to get around those circles, do it. No one's going to be like, your top stitch was at a 2.5 when it really needed to be at a 3.5. If someone comes into your house and does that, run. The chances are they are a serial killer and you need to go. Okay? Because why do you know that from looking at a stitch? That's weird. So I'm joking. Yeah, but do run. That's not normal. Unless maybe they're, I guess maybe a surgeon? I don't know. But yeah, anyways, it shouldn't be that close to it. That's they should just be like, oh, that's really cute fabric. Can you make me one of those? I'll pay you the monies. That's what I think they should be saying, but instead they're judging you for not using a 2.5, for using a 2.5 stitch length instead of a 3.5. I don't know, maybe get different friends. But for real, like, use a smaller stitch length if it makes you feel more secure in the curves part. Do whatever makes you feel better. I won't judge you. I'll be your friend. Apparently I got a piece of lint with it. Okay, so we got that. I'm gonna take this excess. All right, so now we're gonna just make the loop. You can do the loop however you want to. You can have it coming up like this and it's just a handy little loop. You can have it going to the back. I thought of something after I made the other one, so I'm going to give you a fun modification because we all know I like to do modifications. You can put a cam snap through here and it could be a snap. So that way you could put it onto like different doors or different settings and it could snap through. I thought of that after I did it. I didn't think of it beforehand. It's not in the pattern, but I thought having a cam snap on this can be such a big difference because sometimes just having a loop only means you can hook it onto something. But if that's, say, you do have a god of mischief in your house and you want to put it on the oven, you can just put it on over and under and snap it into place. Just saying that I think that's a really cool feature. But the way I did it last time is I kind of folded it onto itself where where the fabrics, the bias binding met, and I kind of just made a L bracket. I back stitched and then I pivot and I didn't go past where the bias binding was and I back stitch, and then there was my loop. But I think you could do a lot more with this loop. I think you could, like I said, you can do a cam snap. You can do a cute, if you have like a really cute rivet or a jeweled rivet, you could put that on there. I think that if you had really pretty ribbon, that like if you had like, for this one, if you had like candy ribbon, you can put accents of ribbon on there. I think you can have a little bit of fun. I feel like If you had an embroidery machine, you can make this a little bit longer and put your guys's last name on there. I feel like you can have a lot more fun with this loop than what is suggested, but that's a beautiful thing about patterns. You can continue on and do something even more fun. But that is it. You have like the cutest little pattern ever. So like, sorry, this one goes this way. I was having fun. I had this one go this way. This one's this way. So you can just do however you seem fit. And then you could put this in different directions. Like it doesn't have to be just going to the left or going to the right. You can switch up the straight angle to go to one side if you're like me and you're dyslexic, and then you see something going in one direction and you're like, oh, it means that it goes to the other way. Have fun. Like you can have it going to the side, you can go to the front. It's a square. And they also have a really cute circular pattern on here that I thought was cute. They don't really get to see it, but in here on top of this one that goes like this. Like these two go like this. Again, this is why toss prints are really fun, because they go every direction. They have a circular one, and then they have an oven mitt. So I thought this pattern was really cute, and I wanted to do a tutorial on it. So if you like simplicity patterns, if you like the big four and just like paper patterns like this that you get at your local Michael's or Hobby Lobbies, and there's one that you have in your stash and you're like, Shnova, I desperately want someone to do a tutorial on it, put a comment down below. What's your favorite pattern, and what was your first pattern that you sewed up as a designer, not as a designer, as a sewist? Put it down below in the comment section. I would greatly appreciate it. If you could like, subscribe, and share, I would greatly appreciate it. Until the next time I see you, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.